Hey everybody, Mr. Movies87 here, bringing you a new episode of Gaming Breakdown. And today I'll be covering one of my personal favorite Final Fantasy games, Final Fantasy IV. As per usual, I'll be going over each character, their class, their abilities, and then also I'll be going over some good party setups for the late game there. How I'll be doing this will be a little different than my Wild Arms 2 one, where I'm just going to class each character into either physical or magical, and then kind of just give a general overview of them, because there's a lot more characters in this game than there are in Wild Arms 2, so I would like the video to not go on for like 25 minutes or whatever. So there's 12 playable characters in total, and for the for the PSP version of the game, you're allowed to use all 10 of them. Two of them are only temporary, but I'll still be going over them anyway. So we have Cecil, Rosa, Rydia, Kane, Edge, Edward, Sid, Palom, Porum. Then there's Tella and Fusoya, and I know I missed one. But they're all in the picture here. So I can't count. Yeah, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. I can't count. But anyway, yeah, there's 10 characters you have later on in the game, and then Tello and Fusoya, who are temporary characters. So as far as physical characters go, to classify them, we have Cecil, Kane, Sid, Edward, Yang, and Edge. And then for your magical characters, you have Rosa, Rydia, Palom, Porum, Tello, and Fusoya. To go over Tello and Fusoya real quick because they're only temporary, just so they're out of the way quicker. Tello's with you at two different portions of the game. Being a sage, he has access to white and black magic. When you first get him, he only knows a handful of spells each, but he is very, very useful when you get him. His stats suck though, but his spells kind of outweigh that. Then you pick him up again on Mount Ordeals, still kind of, well, the same as last time, really, besides a few levels higher. And then after these stuff on Mount Ordeals, he learns all of his spells back, except the few good ones. Like, he doesn't learn Holy, or Flare, or Quake, or Death, I believe. But besides that, yeah, he gets a full repertoire of spells. But he still only has 90 MP to use, which is a little unfortunate, but oh well. And then there's Fusuya, who is pretty much an upgraded version of Tella. You did him on the moon. He's a Lunarian. He has access to every single white and black magic spell, so that alone makes him very, very useful. Better, I think when you get him, one of his stats is 45, one is 60. I believe his intellect is 45 and his spirit 60, so he makes for a better white mage than black mage. He also has ability Bless, which is a slight HP regen at the end of each turn, which in this game is not really that useful. And oh yeah, for Tella's other ability, he has Recall, which can potentially, well, recall an old spell he forgot. I think it allows you to do it for free, but it's really random, and most times you'll just get a spell like Fire or Thunder or Blizzard, so it's not really worthwhile to use anyway. And then as far as the physical characters go, real quick, Cecil gets cover, takes place of damage, or takes damage in place of an ally. Kane gets jump, which takes him off screen for a bit, deals higher damage to an enemy, which will eventually upgrade to double jump once you get the Dragoon Gloves in the Lunar Ruins trial. Pretty much guaranteed match damage on an enemy. It jumps, the animation, it shows him jumping twice, but only deals one solid hit. It's still really good to use anyway. Let's see, what else? Rydia as a young caller, or young summoner, whatever it's called in the PSP versions or whatever. She has a few white magic spells, just Cure, Hold, and there's one more, and Sights, which those are never used anyway. Only Cure is useful. She has Black Magic and Summon Magic, which are both pretty self-explanatory. And then when she gets older, she loses the ability to use white magic, but then she gets more, well, she'll learn more powerful black magic spells later on, as well as getting better summons. And of course, why am I doing it for Rydia? She's not physical. I'm getting out of order here. Well, Rydia's done there anyway. Yeah, she, of course, is, real quick, she's very fragile. I think one of the lowest HP scores amongst the team, so she deserves a back row spot for sure. Back to the physical characters like I was going over before, or trying to anyway. Let's see, so that's Cecil and Kane. Edward's next. He's pseudo-physical, because he has no magic, so that kind of by default puts him into physical there. Early on, he really sucks. Like, his HP stat is terrible, his stats all around are terrible. When he gets the Lamia's Harp and the Antlion Cave, that makes him a halfway decent attacker. But it won't be until way, way later in the game that he really starts to shine. He has some really solid equipment in the Cave of Trials there, like the red cap, the red jacket, and Apollo's harp. Was all of those raise his stats by a crap ton. So then he'll turn into a very speedy and actually pretty decent physical attacker. Still has crappy HP, so he belonged in the back row. Yeah, he's not half bad later on in the game. For as far as his commands go, he has Hide, which takes him off screen for however long you want him to until you have him reveal himself afterwards. That prevents all damage as well taken to him. Then he also has, let me think, he has Sing, which can put a status effect on an enemy. It depends on what harp you have equipped. And also there's a Salve command, which takes a potion and uses it on your entire party, but it splits the effect of that potion. So say a potion would normally heal like around 85 to 90 HP or so, it only do like 25 to 30-ish on each party member. So it's it's kind of useful early on in the game, but not so much to make it like immensely useful or anything. So I hardly ever use it myself. Moving on to Yang, one of the big-time powerhouses of the game. Being a monk, of course, he has super high strength and stamina. He'll be doing great damage throughout the entire game, really, especially with his elemental claws, as well as his other claws that exploit creature types. Let's say if a creature is a machine, give him thunder claws, and he'll be able to do 4 times damage to them, which is immensely useful later on. As far as his commands go, he has, well, physical attack, obviously. He has focus, which will let you do double damage to an enemy for a cost of a little bit of charge time. And then he'll also learn Deadly later on, which is a triple the attack power, but also costs a little bit of charge time there. Oh yeah, by the way, I forgot to mention, for Edward and Rydia, I've been glossing over some new commands you learn. In the PSP version of the game, there's a new dungeon, the Lunar Ruins, which gives most of your characters an accessory, which lets them use a new ability. Edward will learn Chant with the Harmony Ring, which lets you cast Protect and Shell in your entire party with it. Rydia with the Mist Ring gives her, I think, makes her summons a little more powerful. Also, with the Mist Dragon, it gives you a blink effect, actually. I think only a one-time use, or like a one use of blink, I believe. So that's pretty useful there. I already did Kane's. Tell and Fucio don't have one. Already did Edward. Edward's pretty much done, right? Yeah, I went over Chant. So yeah, that's done and out of the way. Who's next? Rosa. Being a white mage, pretty simple what she does. She keeps your sorry ass alive. Simple as that. She's a halfway attacker early on in the game if you give her a bow and arrows. The crossbow and holy arrows work pretty well on Mount Hoth because there's a lot of undead enemies around there. But later on, I prefer to have her with a staff just to boost her spirit stat, which means she'll be able to heal more HP with her white magic spells. Of course, she learns a full slate of white magic spells, being the cure spells, stuff like Haste, Slow, Berserk, Protect and Shell, Life, Arise, Holy, and then there's stuff like Hold and Berserk, which I don't find that useful. At least as far as like Berserk, I prefer to actually have control of my characters, so that's just me. Um, as far as her abilities go, she learns, of course, White Magic. She has Prey, which can sometimes heal a little bit of HP of the entire party, and also Aim with a bow and arrow that is a guaranteed hit on an enemy, so that can be pretty useful for the attacking part of her. And later on, she gets the White Ring, which turns Prey into Miracle, which is actually extremely useful. For one thing, it's a guaranteed Cura on your entire party most times, but other times it'll give you a free Curaga on the entire party and a Suna all in one. So that can be really, really useful there. Mainly for like random battles just to keep your HP up, but not as much in boss fights unless you want to have her just spam that over and over and over until it can conserve MP there. But besides that, yeah. As you already did Rydia, so we'll move on to Sid. Sid is pretty much like the pseudo tank of the game, although he really has like no defensive abilities, but he has a lot of HP, a lot of defense, a lot of attack. He is extremely slow, though I think actually the slowest character in the game. But besides that, he's pretty solid when you get him. He hits things with a hammer pretty hard. That's really all you need him to do. His abilities, I think he gets a scan ability, and that's pretty much it. I think he has one more actually, but I don't remember. Not that it really matters because all Sid should be doing is attacking anyway with his hammer. So he's good, but his speed really does suck, unfortunately. So that's kind of a killer for him. Why is Pompey sniffing Crassus? I have no idea. Anyway, moving on to Palom and Porum. Palom being the black mage, Porum being the white mage. They're twins. Of course, being so young as they are, their HP stats really, really suck. But they're both really, really damn good mages. They learn a lot of the spells earlier than Rosa or Rydia would, especially in the case of Palom to Rydia, because I think he learns Flare at level like, I think he learns, actually, he learns Meteor first at level 50, and then Flare at 55. I'm pretty sure. I might have the levels wrong, but yeah, he learns those top end spells a lot sooner than Rydia does, so that makes him a lot more viable, I think. If you want to go for the black magic round, I will say Rydia is a little bit better because she has better HP and also she has summons. So, to each their own, really. Yeah, each learn a full slate of white and black magic there. Porm has a little bit more HP, I think. Actually, no, she has lower HP than Palom does. But anyway, um, as far as their abilities go, they have the Twin Cast command, which you should pretty much never use. Takes up both of their turns for like forever, and lets them do like a comet or meteor effect, or meteor effect. I called it Meteo. I'm still used to the translation from Final Fantasy II on the Super Nintendo. But yeah, it's either comet or meteor effect on all enemies. The damage is good, but the time it takes for it to charge really, really sucks. So it's not worth it at all, in my opinion. Then we have Edge, probably my favorite character in the game, actually. Being a ninja, he's the only one able to dual wield, well, besides Zane in his claws. Um, he has really solid physical attack stat, really good speed, and also decent stamina as well. And probably one of the most useful abilities in Throw. Lets you throw an item from your inventory to do damage, aka you can throw shurikens, Fuma shurikens, and any weapons you have around as well. You can throw like arrows or staves or bows or rods or anything like that, or claws, but like swords and spears and ninja swords, stuff like that. So his damage output from when you get him from the end of the game is like very consistent all the way around. HP wise, it's a little bit lacking. He only has a little more HP than Rosa, but besides that, he's also a little on the fragile side, not being able to equip a shield for the most part. He is able to equip a hero shield, which any character can, by the way. So that can make him useful there. And then also his abilities, as far as they go, like I said, he already has throw. He has steal, which for the most part isn't too useful. But if you want to steal sirens from searchers later on in the game, that is the only way to really get them for the most part. Just have them set to auto battle, have your other characters defend, and you can just steal over and over and over again with auto battle set. So that's very helpful there for if you want to farm paint puffs for the paint tail there. Did I miss anyone? I don't think I did. Just glossing over the picture here real quick. No, that should be everyone. Okay, so that takes care of that. Now, as far as final party setups for the later part of the game, by default, in other versions of the game, you're given Cecil, Kane, Rosa, Rydia, and Edge, which is a really damn good party right there. But in the Game Boy Advance and PSP versions of the game, you're able to change out your party members, all of them besides Cecil, which can be also very useful because, for one thing, the other characters get some really damn good equipment in the Cave of Trials there, and also they did some extra stuff in the Lunar Ruins, but everyone else does anyway. So, as far as party setup goes, you can either go 3-2 or 2-3. Excuse me. Those being like 3 in the front row, 2 in the back row, or 2 in the front row, 3 in the back row. Me personally, I always prefer the 3-2 setup. So pretty much any physical attacker up front will work, and then any mage in the back for the most part. But you pretty much want to have like a white mage and a black mage. So you have then Rosa, Rydia, Palom, and Porum. You can pretty much mix and match them really. Like you can do Rosa and Palom, or Rydia and Porum, for example, which can both work really, really well. For the most part, though, I just prefer Rosa and Rydia because they have higher HP overall. I think well, at the end of the game, your spirit will be 99 regardless between Rosa and Porm. So it doesn't really matter who you bring. But again, I prefer Rosa just for a higher HP stat. Between Rydia and Palom, I give a slight edge to Rydia because of her summons, which Palom does not have. So there you go. If you do want to do Pinktail farming, what I usually do is go for a 2-3. Would be 2 physical attackers, doesn't really matter who. Also, Cecil has to be in your party, by the way. You can't take him out, so there's that. But yeah, for that, you need to go Rydia and Palom and a white mage, and then Cecil, then one other attacker. Then have Rydia use Bahamut, have Palom use Meteor, and then physical attacks will take care of the rest of the pink puffs easily enough anyway, so there's that. But yeah, as far as physical attackers go, Sid is a little bit lower on my list along with Edward because, I mean, they're good, but I think Kane, Edge, and Yang are just overall a lot better. Sid's just way too slow to be that viable. Edward just isn't as strong as the other ones anyway, so I usually avoid him. I only bring him to do his trial dungeon in the Lunar Ruins anyway, so. But besides that, yeah, Yang with his two claws can be immensely helpful to exploit weaknesses. Edge can also equip claws too. I do that early in the game, but later on I have him just stick with his katanas. So there's that. And then yeah, Kane plus his Dragoon Lance, oh not Dragoon Lance, Abel's Lance it's called. Is very useful. Has a tornado effect with it as well, which can bring any enemy down to 1 HP if the effect triggers in battle. And it'll also work on bosses, like even like Brachiorydos in the Lunar Ruins there. So you want to go cheapo to kill him, is have Kane physical attack, and it'll usually trigger within a few hits if you're lucky. And then one more attack afterwards will take care of him. So there's that. So yeah, pretty much yeah, either Cecil obviously, and then between Kane, Edge, and Yang, put the two of them for your physical fighters there. And if you're mages, just go usually Rosa and Rydia in my case there. Or if you want to mix it up, like I said, you can go Rosa and Palom or Rydia and Porum there. So pretty much general rule of thumb is to really have a white mage and a black mage. The other characters are more or less moot because you need to survive and you also need to kill things. So there you go. Alright, that should be most everything there. Covered all the characters there, abilities, stuff like that. So yeah. Yeah, this reason why I wanted to do this one for sure was because I've been playing Final Fantasy IV so much lately. I started a new file on it a little while ago. I've already beaten the game once. Just doing the Lunar Ruin stuff now. And I also since started a solo file with Cecil again for like the 800th time. I'm trying to farm a pair of Giant's gloves from Ogres in the Magnetic Cavern there, so there's that there. Alright, so with that takes care of that. Went on a little longer than I would have liked, but hey, this game is fantastic. You should play it. So I had no problem being able to review this game anyway. Did it a fun breakdown. So hopefully you guys enjoyed it. If you did, leave a comment below. Thanks for watching, guys. And this has been Mr. Moves 87 signing off. Have a great day, and thanks for watching.